Okay, so I got a little update. So stay to the end of the show so I can get the update because there's an update. Okay, so yeah, it's a bonus episode because shit's happening. So we're just gonna hop right into it. The whole situation over in Afghanistan. Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna go over just brass tacks here because this is a long explanation. First of all, we shouldn't have been over there. Point blank, period. We shouldn't have been over there. We can debate 9/11 all day long. I know sometimes people roll their eyes. I roll my eyes whenever I hear people believing in asinine conspiracy theories, like really believing in it. But this is one that it'll definitely make you think 3 or 4 different times. So anyhow, we're not going to get into 9/11 and the events surrounding it, maybe one day, but not in this episode. We went over into Afghanistan, even though the pilots of those planes were Saudi Arabian, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. We were in Afghanistan, trying to build peace there, but really that's not what it was. Again, back to 9/11, there was a whole lot of moving parts there. A whole lot of moving parts. Okay, we're not going to get into the bushes. I'm trying to figure out, like, where in the hell do we even start? Okay, all right. So once upon a time, I heard that I was ugly. Came from a bitch, nigga. Sorry. Back to it. Once upon a time, long time ago, there was a whole bunch of Russian troops. Russia came and they invaded, not invaded, but they invaded. They invaded and occupied Afghanistan for like a really long time. It was like 20 years. it was a long ass time. No, it was 10 years. It was 9 years. 9 years, they left after 10. So what had happened during those 9 years is there was a whole bunch of different factions rising up to try and push back the Russian forces because they were trying to bring about communism into Afghanistan. The Afghan people were like, fuck no, we don't want no fucking communism. The fuck? So America intervened. They were like, hey, y'all don't want communism. We don't want communism to spread. We're going to help you out. So there was a whole bunch of different factions that came about. There was this one faction that came about. It was like, I don't want to mispronounce it. It started with an M, but I don't want to mispronounce it. But anyways, that group, they rose with the help of, U.S. intervention with giving them weapons and higher grade weapons than what the Russians had and whatever. Bin Laden ended up fighting for, or fighting against the Russians. He was part of one of these factions. So anyways, that grew. It grows like factions grow. Some of them dissipate. Some of them band together. Some win, some lose. Well, one that was able to rise up was the Taliban. The Taliban was like kind of like a combination of some of these groups. And they were like, yeah, we want to implement Islamic law, have an Islamic state here in Afghanistan. So then some other shit had happened. And then back in the 90s, some more shit had happened. And it was just a whole bunch of shit. And then so fast forward to 9/11, we go over there to fuck they shit up because there's honestly, there is no reason why. There is a reason why. It's not like, I don't want to make it sound like we just went over there for no reason. There is a reason. It was oil. There's no oil that we can touch over in Saudi Arabia because we've got too many connections, so we can't fuck them up, but we could fuck Afghanistan up. So that was the reason why we went over there. So anyway, 9/11 happened. We have a reason to go over in Afghanistan. It was put out that we had finished what we came there to do, implement democracy and all of that, because the argument is if they were democratic, then and with Western values, then they wouldn't have factions rise up like this. But what we're seeing now is that was a fallacy. That it's not a thing, you guys. Like, the Taliban, we've been pulling out of Afghanistan. We've been pulling out of Afghanistan for a while. Like, it's been a very concentrated effort. But as we near the date of September 11th, 2021, which is when we're supposed to be all the way the fuck up out of there, the Taliban is starting to take over a lot of different places. So Taliban, they got Kabul, they damn near took over all of Afghanistan by now. Like, right now, there was only like one airport that was safe for these people to go to. Everybody trying to get the fuck out, and like even that was starting to get ran out. Like, all of these foreign leaders are calling all they people's home. They've been calling they people's home. And like, everybody's like, damn, how did the Taliban take over in like a week? In like a week. That's when we started like mass, evacuating folks out of Afghanistan. So like in a week's time, how the fuck is it that they were able to take over so fucking quickly? Because all that we did for the last 20 years over there is piss them off. We made them mad. They mad. They don't want us there. They don't want us there. They never wanted us there. They didn't want us there. Now, some people did, obviously. Most people didn't. Here's the thing. Why did we just automatically decide, like, who is it that just makes the decisions that, like, okay, is it the UN? I think it's the UN that makes the decisions that's like, okay, we don't want you to have, even though this country is predominantly Muslim, we don't want you guys to implement an Islamic state here. Now, the reason why is because some folks get a little bit carried away and they go way too fucking far with the punishments and the shits, okay? But I'm trying to make you guys, I'm trying to tread lightly here, but y'all know that I'm not very tactful. I'm not the most tactful person in the world. So this is really, really hard for me to try to tiptoe around. But basically, who gave us the moral authority? Who gave us the moral authority? Okay, yeah, there's still beheadings over there and all of that. We got cops kneeling on niggas' necks for 9 minutes and not getting charged with first-degree murder. I mean, who gave us the moral authority? Who gave anyone the moral authority? Who? And just like America has gone through its disgustingly terrible times, and we're able to kind of just get to the point where we can at least say something and not get shot, maybe sometimes, depending on what kind of neck of the woods you in. Okay? Just like we had to go through some shit, other folk got to go through their shit too. Because guess what? We're still going through shit. We're still going through shit. What gives us the right to say that how somebody else governs their people is wrong? Now, keeping in mind, I'm talking about the Taliban. I'm not talking about ISIS. Okay? ISIS is, and that's another thing too. Okay, so guys, point blank period, Taliban ain't going nowhere. Taliban isn't going nowhere. Somebody, like nobody, no politician is making the definitive statement, either yes or no, on whether or not they are recognizing the Taliban as a government. No one is giving a flat out yes or no. Because they like, it's a wait and see game. We waiting till we get the fuck up out of there before we see about saying that, yeah, they the government now. It'd be smarter if they would go ahead and just say that now to keep them safe. But at the same time, like, the rest of the world will be looking like, wait, what? Y'all niggas ain't even out of there. Wait, what? Yeah. So Taliban is not going anywhere for several reasons, okay? One of which, the group came from fighting back communism, communist Russia, okay? And they have flourished under the boot of the U.S. troops, okay? Now they just good and plenty. They good and plenty mad, all right? They are working in concert. They are working in uniform. They obviously have had some kind of help, some kind of way, some kind of where. So, but at the same time, they don't fuck with ISIS. They don't fuck with ISIS and Taliban. Is two different groups, guys. Two different groups. They don't fuck with the ISIS. They don't fuck with, they beat back ISIS a couple of different times. ISIS tried to resurge and it was like, nah, we said stay the fuck down. You know, there was this movie once a long, long time ago. I can't remember the name of it. I know it was a bunch of white folks that played in it. I think Mel Gibson was in it. I'm not 100% sure, but I very vaguely remember the movie. But there was this one scene where the dude was like, this is why we're never going to be able to fight them. Like, we're never going to be able to beat them because they would rather die than to be slaves of a foreign government. They don't see death as, when you become a soldier and you're fighting in a holy war, you're already considered dead. That's why they don't fear. Just like in Haiti, they don't fear death. Well, let me take that back. Back in the 1804 revolution, they did not fear death. Because they knew they were just going to come back some kind of way, some kind of how. They didn't fear it. So when you don't fear death, that makes you a formidable enemy or adversary. You know, I hate to be the one to be like, let folk do their own thing, but let folk do their own thing. Getting involved in all of these different politics and policies all around the world when we can't even get our own shit together, that's just we're just making room for another world war. Okay, Taliban does not want world domination. ISIS does. ISIS wants to turn the entire world into an Islamic state. That's why their reach was so long with the propaganda. That's why they did like updated techniques to reel people in, like using Twitter and all different types of social media and stuff like that. They were able to recruit. Yeah, absolutely. But the Taliban saw them as no, we got the monopoly over here in Afghanistan, and you're not willing to let Afghanistan go to us. Once y'all do whatever the fuck it is y'all plan on doing, now we got the monopoly. Y'all need to fall the fuck back. That's their issue with them. And the rest of the world sees it as, okay, Taliban, lesser of two evils. Okay, you got one that wants an Islamic state in just one country, and they don't care about the rest of the world. And the other one wants the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? And they got a long fucking reach too. So they're wanting to. The Taliban ain't going nowhere. The Taliban is not going anywhere. I am so grateful for podcasts. Because it's August 2021 right now. In 5 years' time, I can go back to this episode and go, damn. Yeah, they're going to be considered a government. They're gonna be considered a government. Look at the trajectory and look at the past events. Come on, guys. Come the fuck on. And it's funny to me because it's like the news, they always show the most terrible of horrific things when it comes to like, the opposing group. And the fact of the matter is that we're not over there. Now, obviously, there's lots of women over there that are like, we like going to school. You know what I'm saying? There's an entire generation of people that have lived over there that have never known the Taliban. 20 years. Well, that's not an entire generation, but like that's a whole lot of group of peoples that ain't never known what the fuck a Taliban was. Not firsthand. And now they are witnessing it. But at the same time, is it really, because you know how the media likes to spin shit. Is it really what they're showing us? Listen, I don't know. All I know is we got to stay up out of folk business like that. That's just, I mean, the Taliban seemed like they letting folk go. And I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I very well could be wrong. Because I cannot find out what the fuck is happening with all of these cities and towns and villages that the Taliban is taking over. People are like, oh yeah, they done took over all of Afghanistan. Okay, well, what does that mean? How did they take it over? Are they killing folks? Are they setting off bombs? Because I really don't feel like the U.S. troops will be leaving if they were setting off bombs in a whole bunch of different cities and shit and taking it over that way. So what do you mean by they're taking over? Like, where the rest of the folk at that live there? Are they alive? Are they imprisoned? Or are they just like, yeah, okay, I guess this is what's going on now. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel for the people that want to get the fuck out. And there are a lot of people that need to get the fuck out. Because I'm not saying that the Taliban is just completely, oh, they're fine, they're harmless. I'm not saying that at all. All of these people don't realize, folks that do very, very important jobs, it just kind of falls off of our radar when we're not in constant communication with that. And one of those jobs is being an interpreter. And a lot of these interpreters have been doing really awesome work for democracy over in the Middle East. So now the Taliban's like, hey, I remember you. I remember your family. We know where you live. We know where you play. We know where you work. We know everything about you. Yeah, they gotta go. They should have been the first ones to get gone. Do you hear me? Right alongside with every other government official over there. They should have been the first ones to get the fuck out. They still there. That's scary. What's scary is that, the Taliban is taking the fuck back over. And for the most part, from what I understand, again, I could be wrong, but for the most part, they're doing it relatively peacefully. They've been saying they want a peaceful transition. And to be honest with you, I really can't fucking blame them for going in as fast and as hard as they have this past week. Why? Because think about it. If the shoe was on the other foot, you would want to be right behind the motherfucker that has been squatting in your home for the last 20 years. When they say, okay, I'm finally gonna go, you want to be right behind them, walking them out the door with a fucking shotgun, because you don't want the shit to happen again. You got to be able to look at things from their perspective. We came in there, we bum rushed them for no reason. They didn't do 9/11. Go and do your own research Go and do your own fact checking on that. And when I say, side rant, okay, I'm sorry, but I really fucking hate it when people, I've researched this for years. No, you read a couple of articles. You have, if that, you've seen a couple of YouTube videos. You come across a couple of Twitter posts and Facebook posts that just go along with your confirmation bias for it to say whatever the fuck you think you want it to say. That's not what I mean by research. I mean writing empirical articles. You writing the articles yourself on both sides. Guys, you have to understand what research means. You can very easily, I read up on it, but you need to research it or read up on it. Do whatever it is you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, because I know a lot of people are like, this bitch don't think 9/11. This bitch think 9/11 was an inside job. There's a lot of things pointing to that it was. Okay, you can call me crazy, you can call me conspiracy theorist, all you want to, but I mean, when the owner of the World Trade Center, who has family members that work in the building, calls his family members and says, don't go to work on September 11th. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to say definitively, but it's a whole lot of sketchy ass shit going on surrounding that whole situation. But anyway, we shouldn't have been there in the first fucking place. And now that we getting the fuck up out of there, they're like celebrating, I guess. You know? Why? We have, and it's not just America, it's Western culture in general, has a disgusting habit of going around the world saying, you're not living correctly. Let me show you how to live. Let me show you the real way to do things. Let me show you the civilized way. You guys are acting like a bunch of heathens and savages. Because their narrative doesn't fit right alongside with ours. They come up with an Islamic state. It's going to be very hard for the Western world to be able to trade with them. Because they're not going to know what that's going to look like. They don't know what trade would look like. And then you've got to leave it open to the black market, because most of the Taliban's money, where they get it from, is poppy. Heroin, guys. Heroin. All right. And it's not all just for drugs, by the way. Like, there's lots of different properties and uses for heroin. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm sure that there are. I don't really know. But I do know that they make their money with that. And so that's just, I don't know. And then you're probably going to see a lot of American laws laxing on the exportation of what is this? Schedule 3 drug? I don't know. You can Google search it. Listen, it is what it is. Once again, America's sticking their nose in places where it shouldn't belong. So is a lot of other countries too. Russia's sitting up here talking about Russia and China. They just licking at they chomps right now. They just like, yes, everybody falling the fuck apart. We over here thriving. Time to get some shit in order. America is no longer a superpower. And even with Joe Biden in office, it's not looking like it's going to be a superpower again for a very long time. So, I mean, drink your water, guys. Drink water. Meditate. Oh, and if you really in a fuck thing that they ain't finna do some shit to us, After we just occupied their whole ass country for 20 years, we really think they just gonna let us walk away? Live and let live, forgive and forget? Y'all better hunker down for a real 9/11 attack. Like, cause I mean, they real big on, that shit wasn't even us, but shit, you want us to get some shit done, we can get some shit done. So, anyway, that's all I got to say. Bye. Okay, so the update is that so Taliban they done took everything over. Okay, they done took everything over. That airport is no longer safe that I was talking about. Yeah, it's no longer safe. Things have moved very, very quickly. What else? Oh, they're not. So here's something very interesting. Before, when the Taliban took over, like, they didn't let women go to school. Women couldn't work. You had to be a chaperone by somebody if you wanted to go anywhere, whatever. So in this new regime, they're allowing women to have, they said limited freedoms. So there's one area that they were talking about, like, yeah, see, we let the little girls go to school here. And everybody's like, yeah, it's literally just that area, so that they can tell people that they let little girls go to school. But they're also saying, like, yeah, we want women in politics too. And everybody's like, we don't trust this. We don't trust this. We don't trust you. We don't know what's happening. But meanwhile, they're shooting up villages and stuff. I just heard of one village that they just shot up. And, well, it wasn't a village. It was like a couple people's houses. And they did kill a couple of kids. I'm not capping for no Taliban guys. I'm not. I'm just telling you what the news say. And the news say, and the articles say, that the Taliban is trying to do better. All right, y'all, that's it.